Hey guys, what I've done today is I don't have the appropriate stuff for my metal brake to actually bend that 3/16 or 1/4 inch bend, whatever it is. So what I've done is I've actually taken my little head forming jig here from my vise, and I've put the pieces in there and I've bent them in such a way, where here you'll see, that I can put them together. Where are we here? There we go. Get the distance I want, weld them down the center, and get my bend that way. So I'll put it in the car and I'll score how wide it has to be. I'll cut it and then weld it up. And that should look after my my problem with that, with the wrong tool for the job. Okay, so here we are forming that panel I was talking about before, and I knew this was going to take an entire episode to do because I'm really not very good. I shouldn't say very good. I'm unpracticed in doing this kind of stuff. So the bends turned out pretty good. I had to hand form them, and then a little bit of craft work here with the snips. But actually, all in all, this is going quite well, and it was a very good solution to not having the proper brake for the job. Those of you familiar with Fitzy's fabrications will notice that I'm using a very similar approach he does here with the taking two pieces of metal, welding them together, grind them down. It looks like one continuous piece of metal, and it kind of looks like you know what you're doing, where in fact I am still just learning this bloody awful skill. And I can't say it enough about these little Milwaukee fuel tools. If you or someone you know works for Milwaukee and they are looking for someone who could sponsor me with a whole bunch of these things, I'm their biggest fan. So I will make a shout out every single episode for the wonder that is the Milwaukee hand fuel 12-volt tool. Oh, okay, it's hot. It is really hot, and we also had rain today, so it's a bit humid too. I'm getting that textured bit at the back where it goes like this and up again. I'm getting that done today. I got the piece welded up, as you probably saw from the earlier footage, but I ran into a couple of problems because when I'm cutting the line, that really awful air tool I bought is really awful. So it doesn't cut straight. It's a terrible, terrible tool. I should never have actually bought the thing, but let alone use it. But anyways, I used it. So I have some irregular lines, and my lines kind of do a bit of this. So what I had to do was I had to add a little material along here and along here, where the circular grinder took some rusted material, I guess, or grabbed or something. Anyways, there's a gap there about 1/8 of an inch, and it's simply not going to do it. So I've added a little bit of metal to both sides of this thing. This 20 gauge is so much nicer to weld than the 22. It's an absolute privilege to weld it. So it's no big deal. I just got to grind the stuff down, and it becomes just a little longer piece of metal. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna let it cool, and then I go in there and cut it to fit, and hopefully I can get this thing tacked in today. All right, so here we are just lowering the chassis down. It's just sitting in the garage right now getting dirty, covered in welding dust and just dust in general. So it's going to have a sleepover at Dad's place for, I don't know, probably the better part of about 6 or 8 months while we get the rest of this body all done. And then the interior, of course. And then we'll bring them back together again for the when we mate the two parts together. Little buddy's having a sleepover at Dad's house for a few months. Well, we have a wedding going on this weekend, so we thought it would be timely to move the Beetle body up on top of the lift here and get it up and out of the way so we can make a little extra room for our guests, and they can come out and see YouTube Studios for Garage Chronicles live and in person. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in this week. I really appreciate the viewers. I understand this is pretty slow content, but I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for coming out.